Hello and welcome to my channel Excelsior Academy. I'm so happy to get a very good response from you guys. मुझे पता है आपको ये इंटरव्यू सीरीज़ बहुत बहुत मज़ेदार लग रहा है और आपके काम भी आ रहा है, तो इसके लिए मैं बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ आप सबका। और ऐसे ही आप इस चैनल को देखते रहिए, और भी वीडियोस और भी इंटरव्यूज़ हम लेते रहेंगे, सो दैट आपको ये हेल्प कर सके, आपको आइडिया आ सके कि किस तरह के सवाल किस इंस्टीट्यूट्स में पूछे जा सकते हैं। ये आपके माइंड को ओपन भी करेगा। तो आज के इस इंटरव्यू में मेरे साथ है आकांक्षा ओझा, जो मेरे साथ ही आईसर पुणे में काम करती थी पीएचडी, और तब मैं वहाँ पे पोस्ट डॉक कर रही थी। एंड आप देखेंगे किस तरह से उससे सवाल पूछे गए थे और किस बहुत सुंदरता से उसने इसका जवाब भी दिया है। तो ऐसे सवाल जो आप कभी सोच नहीं सकते पूछे जा सकते हैं, एंड कहीं भी आपकी टेक्स्ट बुक में नहीं लिखा है कि हाँ आप ये पढ़ के जाइए शायद ये पूछा जाए। आपसे कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं एंड आप अपने लॉजिक को यूज़ करके उसका जवाब दे सकते हैं। ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप किसी बुक को रट्टा मार के जाएँ, मगअप करके जाएँ। आपको वो जवाब मालूम होता है, जो आप डे टू डे लाइफ में करते हैं उसी से ही आपको सीखने को मिलता है। तो वही चीज़ आप देखेंगे कि किस तरह से आकांक्षा से पूछा गया था एंड किस तरह से उसने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से, अपने लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस से उसका जवाब दिया, एंड हाउ ब्यूटिफुली शी गॉट एक्सेप्टेड फॉर हर पीएचडी प्रोग्राम एट आईसर पुणे। तो आए सुनते हैं किस तरह से आकांक्षा का इंटरव्यू रहा एंड किस तरह से उसने अपने पढ़ाई के लिए, अपने एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपरेशन की। हाय आकांक्षा, हाउ आर यू?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm also doing fine. So how's your lockdown going on?
It is kind of busy, sometimes busy doing nothing, but yeah, it is
Yeah,
good.
fine.
There's a lot of writing involved and a lot of new things. So
Okay,
that's
okay.
how I'm keeping myself busy.
So the thing, like I have invited you to give your interviews, like to motivate my students through my academy called Excelsior Academy. So I would like to ask you first question. So doing PhD was your ultimate goal?
No, not really. So I learned about like doctorate when I was in my 12th, but that was not my goal at that time. Okay, but I finally decided when I was in my undergrad doing BSc Life Sciences from Hansraj College. So that was the time when I realized that I really want to pursue, because I was the last, not the last, but I was the first person who was always asking questions in the class. And quite often I would get beaten by my classmates for asking too many questions and the class getting delayed. So that is the time when I realized that I really wanted to seek answers and not just learn what they were teaching. So that was the time when I thought that I should pursue research as my career goal. But before that, I wanted to go into medical, and I had given a lot of exams, medical exams, entrance exams, and I had gotten into waiting list, but it never materialized. And right now, I'm happy that it didn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. So then tell us like how exactly you prepared in order to clear all the exams, and what all
My
exams you gave.
So I gave almost all exams that are there for entrance into PhD. That is JNU Biotechnology exam, and then there is JG Bill. So in my time, which is in 2014, when I gave the JG Bills exam, there were only 13 institutes which would be participating in selecting students based on JG Bills. And before that, I had heard from my seniors that JG Bills was only for TIFR and NCBS. So in my time, 13 institutes could be collated together as one. And then I also gave GATE, which was for IIT, where you can, where if you wanted to pursue PhD in any of the IIT institutes. So these were the exams that I gave, and most of them I was able to clear, and also CSIR. So in my MSc, which I did my master's in genetics from Department of Genetics in Delhi University South Campus. And in my MSc, I gave my CSIR exam in my second semester, and I was able to clear it in my first attempt. So that was not a problem.
Nice.
And yeah, so that is all the exam I gave.
So sometimes I feel like if you're thorough with your MSc syllabus itself, clearing CSIR becomes easy, right? Because I did the same thing. What do you think?
Hmm. So what I found helped me mostly was my time management. So CSIR exam has very basic questions, and it is not and luckily for me, most of it was not based on your learning capacity. So, because I'm very bad at, remembering names and exactly where this goes, this. So I'm like, I had figured out that I could easily logically get to an answer rather than learning the points. But learning something helps. You can't get logically to something if you don't remember names. So I would do the minimum learning part. And my BSc and MSc were very thorough. Like in my first 2 semesters, that my learning was quite thorough. And in my MSc, we focused on question or problem solving. Okay,
Hmm.
so that helped me in clearing the exam. So if my time limit was managed, my time management was very good in my exams. So that is why, if CSIR has that section, C section,
Yes.
which has 75 questions and only 25 has to be answered, and that is the major marks of your whole exam. So that is mostly logical questions. Like I've gone through all the question papers, and we used to solve it only for fun in my MSc. So like a lot of people will call it like very nerdy behavior, but we used to have this competition in our MSc, in just between classmates, where we would try to solve questions. So that kind of gave me, and all of my MSc batchmates could clear out CSR exam in their first or second attempt. And I think that was the advantage, that we were very good at solving questions in limited time instead
Yeah.
of just learning where it was. And most of them are very basic. Like if you are very thorough with your BSc and MSc, then I don't think you will have to go out extra and learn something extra out of apart from that syllabus.
Yeah, so true. So after clearing all the exams, so where all you went for the interviews?
Hmm. Interviews, I was very selective. So I had applied for JNU Biotech, and I didn't get JNU Biotech because my rank was not very good. I got
That's
BHU,
okay.
but I didn't want to go there, so I didn't go for the interview or anything. And then I had applied for NCBS and ICER and NBRC.
Hmm.
NBRC is in Manesar, it's
Yes.
National Brain Research Center, where I had done my summer internship. And I applied for IISc, so, and NII.
Hmm.
So these were the only institute I went for my interviews. And yeah, and most of them I got calls for interviews, like except JNU. So
Okay, no problem. So can you share a few questions like the interview panel must have asked you during the interview sessions? Any questions?
yeah, yeah, sure. So most again, I think this is a pattern that most of the institutes are now following, is that they don't ask questions which will require a lot of your learning capacity, but mostly at the answer, that you may not know everything because there's too
Hmm.
much to know,
Hmm.
right? So it's okay. Like that's what I found in my many of institutes where I gave, like in NII, the questions that were mostly focused on my project in MSc, the project
Okay.
that I had done as a part of my MSc program. So most of the questions were based on that, and how much did I know about the basics of my project. And so that, I don't know if you'll understand, because it was on bacteria, and they asked about transductions and how you can create new variants of any bacteria genetically. Okay,
Hmm.
so that was very basic and very limited to my project.
Hmm.
But in NBRC and ICER, so there I found that although they did ask me questions which were like related to, they would always ask what interests me. So that
Hmm.
was something that gave me confidence in the first time, that I can select what I
Hmm.
want to answer. So I always went prepared with what I should say. Like if they give me a chance, so I should always try to steer the conversation towards the region that I know best.
Ha.
So I always went with that mindset कि I have to take the conversation उस तरफ. So NBRC में finally the question I think which got me selected was the molarity of water.
What? That
So
was a
how
question.
do you calculate the molarity of water?
Nice.
Yeah, I think so, because other questions I can't remember as much. because it was a lot to. So that time I was obsessed with growth, like aging and growth. So I would steer the conversation towards that, but they would always come back to how would you test this? What would be the experiments that you conduct? You know, if they are asking me about replication, then how would you know that this has replicated? If I talk about mechanism, then it would always be what is your thinking process? You know, how would you arrive at a question? What is your logical process that takes you there? And how eager was I to solve that question? So it's not, so I think that was a very key part, where if I showed interest in solving a question, then I would get prompted for answers by my by people who were interviewing me.
Yes, yes. So they actually
and they
start
were quite
helping you. Huh.
yeah. So if you show interest in answering question, if they see that you are eager to know the answer as well, like it's not about clearing the interview anymore. It's about, okay, this is a very interesting question, and I need to find a solution how to do this.
Yes.
So that is one of the key things that I had learned from interviews, and that I took back in every interview that I went.
Nice.
So yeah, molarity of water was something that I took a long time to get to that in the interview, because I was quite nervous, but finally eventually I did, and they were quite happy.
Nice.
And yeah, they made me solve it on a board, like
Wow.
with a pen and everything. So yeah, they waited for me to come to that answer. In ICER, what I found was there were a lot of interesting questions. So I'll give you a few questions, and many of them were again based on a lot of evolution, statistics, and logical reasoning, and very less on how much you know. So there was one question which I was asked in quite preliminary round about. So there is a difference that you see in the setting of eyes in lions and in deers. So deers have their eyes on the sides, right? And lions have eyes. So they asked me that, do you see a difference between eye setting in lions and deers? I was like, obviously lions have front setting eyes and deers have. So then what is the difference? So I was like, okay, this is a predator. And so I was very like thinking, kya ho sakta hai? So I was like, okay, this is a predator. So it needs eyes in front. So they're like, fine. So why do you need eyes in front now? So what could be the reason? Not, you can't say catching. So how does it help in catching?
Correct.
So yeah, so I took some time, but I realized that it gives you depth. So you can't, and that came from an experience. It was not something I read, but I know that you can't have 3D vision with one eye. So if you go to a 3D movie and you're putting on goggles and you close your one eye, you can't see the 3D. It would be blurred image. So I had tried.
I never did
and
that.
I knew, so I said that, okay, you can't have. So yeah, so a lot of experiences, like being very active in the question, being very involved in the question, then you're able to let go of the nervousness. So I told them that, it is you need two eyes, two set eyes in front to have 3D vision. And then I finally arrived at that conclusion that for depth, to measure the depth of what is the distance, how far is the prey, the predator needs to have a depth in the vision, and to calculate and then hunt. So that was one of the very interesting questions.
Wow.
I never thought of it like that. I learned it while answering the question.
Nice,
So,
nice.
Yeah, so that was one of the interesting things. Yeah. So I remember a lot of questions because most of them were very interesting, and in most of my interviews I learned so much. Like I didn't come out like हाँ मुझे नहीं पता, but most of the time it was a lot of interaction with the people who were interviewing. So we would always, even if my interview was over, so I would make it a point to ask them that, what would be the answer? What would be the correct answer? So,
Good. So finally, where did you join?
So finally I joined ICER Pune. Actually, I had made up my mind to join ICER Pune quite early on. So, and it was the first interview that I gave, and the first interview that, because they have the selection process quite early on. So I was selected for the June session in March. So after that I was very chill. I still went for interviews for experience. But yeah, so I joined ICER Pune, and I joined Dr. Milind Vatve's lab here in ICER Pune.
So currently you're working upon what topic?
So Dr. Milind Vatve's lab is like very multi-purpose and very diverse in subjects. So right now I'm working on diabetes, where it's not a specialized area in this lab, but this lab works on a lot of mathematical modeling, and its focus is on just solving problems, solving interesting problems. So I'm working on the connection of brain or role of brain in diabetes, or in diabetes type 2 to be specific. So that's vaguely my topic.
Hmm.
If you want, I can go on detail, but it's a 5
No,
years job, so why would you?
yeah, so it was good, good. So Akansha, talking to you, it was really helpful. I hope my students will get motivated a little bit to join ICER Pune. Thank you so
I
much.
hope so too.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
वाह, मज़ा ही आ गया आकांक्षा का इंटरव्यू सुनकर। इससे इंटरव्यू लेते लेते मुझे एक याद आया, जब मैं इंटरव्यू पैनल में थी आइसर पुणे में, जहाँ पे हम बच्चों का पीएचडी इंटरव्यूज़ लिया करते थे, तो हम हमेशा एक सवाल ज़रूर पूछा करते थे बच्चों से, जो कि आपके किसी भी सब्जेक्ट, आपके बायो या सेल बायो, मोल बायो, किसी से रिलेटेड नहीं है। तो अभी आकांक्षा की बात सुनते सुनते मुझे याद आया कि एक सवाल ऐसा जो आपके बचपन को आपको याद दिला दे। ठीक है, एक सवाल हम ये पूछा करते थे बीइंग इन द इंटरव्यू पैनल कि जिस रूम में आप बैठे हो उस रूम का वॉल्यूम कितना होगा, राइट? हमने आपको कुछ नहीं बताया है यहाँ पे कि वो कौन से शेप में है, लेंथ, ब्रेड्थ, विड्थ, आपको कुछ भी नहीं बताया है। आपको बस अपने अंदाजे से अपना दिमाग लॉजिक यूज़ करके बताना है उस रूम का वॉल्यूम कितना है। ठीक है, तो इसके लिए आप क्या कर सकते हैं, पहले तो आप ये देखिए कि ऑफ कोर्स हम 3D हैं, तो हम जिस जगह में वो भी 3D है, तो यहाँ पे आपको 3 डायमेंशनल ऑब्जेक्ट आपको सोचना पड़ेगा। ठीक है, तो अभी देखिए कि वो कमरा क्यूब में है या क्यूबॉइड में है, किस शेप में है वो आप देखिए पहले उस चीज़ को। उसके बाद उनको बोलिए कि यहाँ अगर आपको ये कमरा इस क्यूबॉइड शेप में लगता है तो इसका वॉल्यूम का फॉर्मूला क्या है, करेक्ट? आप वो फॉर्मूला बता दीजिए। फिर आप क्या कर सकते हैं, एक्चुअली जो मैंने किया था मैं आपको वो बता रही हूँ। मैंने टाइल्स के मार्किंग देखे थे, क्योंकि मैंने उनको बोला था ये फॉर्मूला यूज़ करके आपको यूनिट क्यूब में मिल जाएगा आपको जवाब, बट देन स्टिल दे वर इंसिस्टिंग कि कुछ वैल्यू बताइए, फिगर बताइए। तो उसके लिए फिर मैंने क्या किया था, पूरे कमरे में टाइल्स लगे हुए थे, ओके? तो नीचे के टाइल्स को मैंने बस ऐसे मेजर किया, ओके दिस इज अगर 30 सेंटीमीटर, आई जस्ट काउंटेड हाउ मेनी टाइल्स आर देयर, तो इस तरह से मुझे लेंथ एंड ब्रेड्थ मिल गया था। देन हाइट मुझे चाहिए थी, उसके लिए क्या करें, तो उसके लिए आप अपने आप को खड़ा करके देख लीजिए, मुझे पता है मेरी हाइट कितनी है, तो उसका डबल या 3/4, तो वो अंदाज़ा लगा के हमने पूरा उसका वैल्यू निकाल लिया था। सो इट वॉज क्वाइट इम्प्रेसिव। उसी टाइम वो क्लिक होता है, तो कुछ बच्चे नहीं जवाब दे पाए थे। जब मैं इंटरव्यू लिया करती थी, हम एक दिन में कम से कम 50 बच्चों का इंटरव्यू लेते थे, जिसमें से वेरी फ्रैंकली 40 स्टूडेंट्स आउट ऑफ 40 आर नॉट एबल टू गिव द आंसर, क्योंकि उन्होंने वो रटा हुआ है कि हाँ मुझे लेंथ ब्रेड्थ हाइट चाहिए तभी मैं वॉल्यूम निकाल पाएंगे। ऐसा नहीं है, आप अपना लॉजिक यूज़ कर सकते हैं। आप सामने जो इंटरव्यू में आपको जो पूछ रहा है, आप उसको कन्विंस कर सकते हैं कि हाँ गिवन द अपॉर्चुनिटी, गिवन द नंबर्स, यू कैन कैलकुलेट, ओके? तो इस तरह के सवाल पूछे जाते हैं, और भी हम इस तरह के इंटरव्यू लेते रहेंगे, और जहाँ मुझे याद आता रहेगा मैं आप लोगों के साथ डिस्कस करते रहूँगी। सो टिल देन टेक केयर, बाय।